start with the coding, I'm going to explain the code to you, and thereafter the explanation, I'm going to start a speed code. If you're not interested in the explanation, you can just go ahead and start the speed code. But for those who are interested how actually this works, stick along. Alright, so as you can see, we have 3 pages here for our onboard, and then each page has similar things in it. We have the photo, we have the text there, we have the indicator and the button. Except for the last page has get started rather. They get started compared to the other pages. Alright, and as you can see, we have cool transactions happening here, the animations that are happening from the picture and the pictures and the white thing there, and also the indicators are also flying cool there. Okay. You can just scroll from this, or you can just press this and then it goes to the next page. Now let me explain how all of this has been done. Okay, see, I have 2 files here, the scroll notifier and the offset notice. These files are to manage the state management of the app. Okay. They are using the provider package from Flutter, and first, before you do anything, you have to install this package. Okay, so here you can just read about what the package do, but I'm going to explain some of the things while I'm explaining how I did this app. Okay, so to install this, you go to this file. You insert this provider underneath the dependencies, Flutter SDK, and then the provider. Make sure you are placing it at the exact position I have placed, and thereafter you are done with installing it and you can use it. Okay, so this app uses mostly the state management, Flutter state management. I will share this link to you so you could just read about state management if you have no clue on exactly what is state management, and you just want to learn more. But as you go by this example, you will get a little bit clue on exactly what state management is. So all this depends on the provider package. Okay. This provider package is easy to understand and does not need much code. It also uses the concepts that are applicable in every other approach. Okay. Thus, they have an example. I'm gonna share this link in the description, so you just go ahead and read it. The most part we're gonna be using with state management in this example is the ChangeNotifier. So ChangeNotifier is a simple class included in the Flutter SDK which provides change notification to its listener. So we're going to set listeners to our pages with ChangeNotifier. And we have the ChangeNotifierProvider. So that is a widget that provides an instant of a change notifier to its descendant. Okay. And then the last one is the consumer. Right. So I'm going to show you right now how I used that. Also use the provider of as well. I'm going to show you that. All this is under the Flutter documentation. Just give yourself time and read through that. Other than that, let's just go straight to the code and see what's happening. So I've explained and showed you the provider and the state management. These pages will pretty much make sense now. So the first page I'm going to explain is the offset notice, which has the change notifier. Remember, I've just shown you what a change notifier there. And here I have declared a page, and also I have get page, which returns that the page number. Okay, and on our other pages, we're gonna call this offset notice and passing in the page controller. Okay, and we're gonna put the listener to the page controller so we could know, so we could give the page, so we could just update this page variable here. Okay, and then the scroll notifier, I've used it for the index as well. So it goes with the change notifier. The index is 0. It's pretty much the thing that happened on that side. It returns a index number. This is to update the index, and I am going to give this page a new index, and then I'm adding the notifier to the index. So these two pages I'm going to use throughout the app, so it will make a lot of the job easy. So let's go to that main page. So in the main page, if you could take a look at the new thing in this page is that the home. So on the home, I'm using the widget ChangeNotifierProvider. Okay. To get this, you have to import the provider here. All right. Okay. So I'm using that page scroll notifier on the other side, this one, and the child is on board. Now, onboard is a page that contains all of the three onboarding pages, right? Because it's a page view, the page view needs a motherboard, and then these pages will sit on that motherboard. Yeah, let's call it a motherboard. Now let's go to onboard. So from this part here to this part here, it's all about these three things here, the indicators, and I'm going to explain that to you. Okay, so we have number of pages here. The current page is 0. Okay, and I have this the list to build the page indicator. Okay, so this will just go through a loop of number of pages, and we're adding in the list. Okay, inside the for loop, I'm calling this method indicator here, and then I'm gonna either send a true or a false, okay, depending on the current page. So if the current page is 0, this first will go to true, and then it comes here, and then this container is the animated container that makes the button be like jumping like that. Okay, so the duration is like 250. You can change it to 300, and as you can see, it's a bit slower when it jumps to the next color. Okay, yeah, height and whatsoever. So if this is true, this should be 10. So as you can see, if this is true, this is a little bit smaller than the other sides. You can just change this if you want. If this is an active one to be bigger than the inactive one, you can change this to be bigger than the other one. Okay, and also this is just to change the color. If it's true, be this color, otherwise it will be the other colors. Simple as that. And then you're done with these indicators there. So right now, this is the page, the motherboard that contains the pages, right? It has a ChangeNotifierProvider. It uses offset, and we are passing a page controller. Okay. If you scroll down here, let's get into the page view. Cool. The page view, it uses the provider off, and then we put in the notifier to get the index, and then current page, we know it's the index. This is to get the current page, okay? And then this is like also updating the current page on the other side, this page here, from the new index we've got from scroll notifier. Okay, and then we'll have children. This is where we put onboard 1, onboard 2, onboard 3 files, which I'm going to explain just after. But in the bottom right here, it's the button, the next button. Remember, I've explained the indicator. Now I'm going to explain the next button. So this part on top here is on its own page, okay? This part down here, it's on the mother page, the motherboard page, which is on board, okay? So here is just an if statement, like to say, show this view if the current page is not the last page, show the next, okay? Show the next button. Otherwise, if it's the last page, show get started, and then you are done with the motherboard. Now we're gonna move to the first onboard. I think the first onboard will pretty much explain the rest of the boarding pages. So I'm gonna be very quick with it. So here we are using a consumer, okay, and offset notice to do the transaction, the transform animation thing, and yeah, to get the pages and to read about the transform.skill, just go to the documentation. I'm gonna share a link on it just to explain exactly how the transaction actually work. Okay. So this container here, it's this nice round background here, and then another consumer here, which I'm using to transform the images inside. See, they scroll, the other one scroll, they scroll like that, and they scroll like that. Okay. So all this is under the consumer. Okay, and then down here we have like the descriptions and the title and description, and then you are done. So pretty much all the pages 3, it's exactly like that. The only difference is I've been playing around with the scaling here and here. So it would give like different animations into the pages, so it looks more cooler. Okay, so yeah guys, I hope that my explanation brought some light and you kind of understand everything. Now let's start with the speed code.